gone with the wind?
I think so. Amesamba. Amechoma. Wewe. Gerard. Amesamba. Hakuna. You see what? The handshake exposed Raila Odinga very badly. You know, in my place, where I come from, it's like the daughter-in-law seeing the father-in-law naked. Then you realize the father-in-law has some wounds on the back, which you never knew about. He says this man has been suffering. So the handshake exposed Raila Odinga very badly. When he went into government, he became arrogant. He started speaking. He took over the position of government spokesman. In fact, he did very many things that Colonel Oguna would have done. On doctors, saying how government is doing this. He even started summoning cabinet ministers. Then they realized this guy can practice power which is not in the constitution, and yet he tells us he's a Democrat and he believes in constitutionalism. But where does he derive this power he's practicing? So that showed him as a person who demonstrated it is a person who doesn't respect the constitution. Then he started defending BBI. You know, everything in the government was right, even when we knew it was wrong. Even when there was a problem with KEMSA, he says, you know, these are exaggerations. We must do. Money is lost, but he seemed to say, you know what, we should investigate. This could be just rumors. Until it became clear that things were not doing very well. So the handshake exposed Raila Odinga as a political hypocrite, in the sense that he doesn't mean what he wants. Once he gets power, he's not likely to be the Democrat they thought he was. Now, on the other hand, this disillusioned people started trooping towards Ruto. And Ruto has given them a new agenda, the hustler movement. Now, this hustler movement doesn't even just talk about poor people. Ruto has given a new message of hope. Raila, it's the usual stuff. And the hustler movement is not about the poor people alone. It's about also rich people who have worked hard. The wheelbarrow is a symbol of work. It's a basic symbol of work. That people can work hard from the wheelbarrow and rise to be billionaires. So Ruto celebrates both billionaires who have worked hard, but he also celebrates poor people who are struggling to become billionaires. As a result, that gives a new shape to our politics. Secondly, Ruto doesn't want to organize people along ethnic lines. He has refused. Many times I think William Ruto has been told, go and become a Kalenjin leader. He has refused. You come from that region. Ruto is not a Kalenjin leader. He has refused many times. He wants to be a leader of the republic. But you can see the thinking of people like Raila Odinga is, let us have regional kingpins so that you can have a lower kingpin, at the cost a kingpin. Then you bring these kingpins on the table to share power and then finally share resources. It doesn't have room for small people. So you have the high table, but down here you don't know who is there. But Ruto now is focusing on the small people. But
the question is, Prof, even as you look at that,
yes,
why should we believe is Raila being deceived? It could be Raila also deceiving Uhuru, because one would argue, for the first time, we now have projects in Kisumu. We have MV Uhuru in Kisumu. We've been seeing bypasses being built in Kisumu. We've been seeing a lot of attention of the presidency in Kisumu. What if it's actually Raila Odinga is deceiving Uhuru Kenyatta?
No, Uhuru Kenyatta has a duty to make sure projects go on in Nyanza. It doesn't depend on Raila. Raila has focus on power, but Uhuru must focus on the voters. So when you have highways in Kisumu, you have projects on the lake going on. It's for our people. Our people need those resources. It doesn't matter whether even Uhuru Kenyatta disagrees with Raila Odinga. He has a duty to make sure that his government provides service. And I'm very impressed by that, by the way, Gerard, that the fact that Uhuru Kenyatta is doing that. But he should not do that because of Raila Odinga. Because it means that when Raila is not there, nothing can happen. Our people deserve those services. They deserve the roads. So there's no deception about it. It is their right. They must get those services. and it should not depend on that. But in terms of getting power, single-handedly, Raila Odinga could be deceived so that he doesn't realize the ultimate goal. But when he doesn't get it, and Uhuru's government is stable, is okay. But Ruto, on the other hand, is saying, look, my brother Uhuru has reached this point and done this, but I have a different approach. We can now, moving forward after Uhuru, do this. But Raila Odinga is still stuck where he was in 2017. Occasionally telling us he won the election. Then he goes into the Jubilee government with Uhuru. You know what? After you have been fed by a friend, then you go out and say he doesn't know how to cook. How can Raila now start criticizing Uhuru Kenyatta? He walked in there. Uhuru Kenyatta has fed him, has given him favors. He has given him state security and many other things. He has enjoyed the trappings of power. Then he says this Jubilee administration has not achieved much. Is that respectful? You know, if you don't want to agree, don't come and eat my food.
But also on the question of the question of respect, the deputy president has been accused of disrespecting the presidency.
No,
a government that he's part of, and people have argued if he feels dissatisfied as he seems, why is it that he's not resigning? Even Mudafa the other day was saying he's going to push a debate in parliament to impeach the deputy president. When you talk about respect, why the deputy president has been accused of being disrespectful to the presidency? Do you think that's the case?
No, I don't remember any case. Any incident where the deputy president has ever disrespected the president. I would, as an educated man in this country, even me, I would never disrespect the president, because the president of the Republic of Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta, has legitimacy, and his legitimacy is in the way we voted for him. So we voted for Kenyatta. And therefore, that legitimacy is not questionable until his term expires. So the deputy president has only expressed opinion on a number of things. Look at the humility of the deputy president at the Bomas of Kenya when they were launching the BPI. He used words like, in my respectful opinion, you cannot do this and this. The deputy president is first and foremost a citizen of Kenya. Under Article 3, all of us are supposed to protect the Constitution. And so when you protect the Constitution, we do not become what? Rebels. So the deputy president has never been a rebel to the president. He has only expressed opinion. But the buck stops with the president. Even when the deputy president has expressed contrary opinion, he has never forced the president to do things his way. The president still is the chief executive of this country and can do anything and does things the way he wants. And the deputy president cannot question that. He can express opinion. So if expression of opinion is why some people start saying the deputy president is disrespecting the president, that is political naivety. But he doesn't abuse the president. He defends the president. You saw yesterday.
Yeah,
he was defending the president. And so, what do you want the deputy president to do? People talk about the resignation. There is nothing in the Constitution that says when you disagree with the president, or you have a contrary opinion to that one of the president, you resign. The deputy president is not a political robot. He's a human being, and he has a duty to do things which are right to the republic. He has a duty to advise the president, and the president takes the final decision. And he can tell the president, I think doing this way, thinks this way is the correct thing, but the final decision is yours. Even if he doesn't agree with the president. So the deputy president has done that, and for a very long time he seems not to have been at the center of power, but he still has been respectful to the president. This ticket of Uhuru and Ruto did not make Ruto a lesser leader. Ruto was elected. That ticket is an elective post. So where in the Constitution, tell me any clause which it says that when the deputy president expresses opinion that do not support the president, he resigns. These guys who talk about these things don't even understand the Constitution. Some of them are overweight. They don't even read the Constitution. So they come here to tell you he should resign. Where is that in law? Gerard, you must tell our people. I think some of them come to this studio. Tell them, read the Constitution. You must organize a classroom where people can come.
I need to extend. I need to build a hall.
Yes, so that they can come. Then you tell them. You say this guy should resign. Tell me which clause among the 18 chapters of our national constitution that say when the deputy president says something that does not agree with that one of the president,
he should resign.
He should resign.
As we are to the next topic, sir, you've been accused of being partisan. Are you partisan or it's science? Someone have thrown accusation that you're partisan. Are you partisan in your analysis or it's science?
It's I'm partisan with the truth. Right?
So it's science.
It's science. Like what I'm telling you, you can do a gallop in your studio here, your media, you take people out and then ask, I've told you that Ruto seems to have taken Mount Kenya. They seem to believe in him. He charms them. He charms Rift Valley. He charms Western. He's charming the coast. And you know what happened in Nairobi. Gerard, why are we not having the governor's elections? It's about Ruto.
That's exactly where I wanted us to go.
He was winning. So when I tell you that Ruto will become the president and probably Ruto is controlling these areas and he has worked hard for it, you must give the guy some credit. People don't want the truth. So when you tell them the truth, they say you are partisan. I'm just a voter. I have just one vote. But I'm facing these guys. I'm telling them that Ruto has taken away the voters. He's going with them. So you also rush. Even if it's a pandemonium, knock each other's heads as you get back your votes. The ones you used to control. This guy has gone away, has run away. The girl is gone. So when I tell them that, they say, oh, no, it can't work. Then they start organizing themselves in clusters of losers. And then they say, we want now, this is the lineup. You see, if you're coming from Rift Valley and you are part of the cluster of losers, you know, you meet people on a table and you know you have nothing to bring on the table. So you can have 10 people calling themselves kingpins. But you must come with voters. So among those fellows, the way you looked at them, the only realistic candidate who can run against Ruto is Raila Odinga. And I'm being honest on this one. I'm not being, because the contest will be there. There are at least people he can bring on the table. But these other candidates, the fringe candidates, they are not working hard. They don't show any incentive. Some are waiting to be endorsed. You want to be endorsed by people who have no people. Then you say, I want to be president. You see what? Look at a case of our brother Musalia. I want to just be very honest with that. I'm not partisan. Before William Ruto became the president, a member of parliament in 1997, Musalia was already a minister 7 years. You get the point?
Yeah.
Now, Musalia even rose to become a vice president. How did William Ruto overtake him? Are these bad questions to ask? How did you... Well, so therefore, people can say I'm partisan. I'm partisan to the truth. I support the truth and I set facts. I do science. I've made an assessment. It's not about support. The message of William Ruto seems to sink deep into the minds of the people, and he seems to have really gained a lot of ground. It is not about Kisiangani. It is the truth. So if that is what they call partisanship, so be it.
Umesarenda, umejitolea. Kama hiyo ndio partisan, wacha ikuwe ni partisan.
But that is the truth, Gerard. Nakwambia ukweli. Yaani ninyi mnapenda Gerard. Kwa nini mnapenda uongo?
Mimi sipendi uongo. Ni watu wako tu wanasema bwana Kisiangani, nikasema acha niulize hata mimi.
Sasa wewe unaniuliza nini? Yaani hii ukweli itabadilika. Sasa nikisema Gerard wewe utakuwa president na ninajua hutakuwa.
I'll feel good. I'll only have to feel good.
Ndio utasikia vizuri.
Lakini president siwezi kuwa. Nasikia vizuri lakini najua siwezi kuwa president.
Sasa hawa watu wenzako mengine ndio marafiki zako, uwaambie kwamba hamtakuwa president. Na pengine kama vile tunacheza ball. Chelsea, Man U, si wapatilishe structure, wapatilishe ma coaches, wapatilishe tactics. Now,
So you feel that you are addressing ostriches who have their heads deep in the sand, and they are saying, okay, at least we cannot see the problem.
yes.
So you tell them that your heads are deep in the sand, and maybe your whole body is out. They'll say, no, we are in the sand.
They should just come out. Let me be a bit soft to them. Let them come out and show what they are made of. Let them show their quintessential type, their quintessential version, so that they say, look, this is what I can provide for Kenya. This is what I would do for Kenya. And then let them get out to every part of the republic and tell people why they want to be president. Let us hear them every weekend, every other day, and let them show commitment that they can change this country to a different level.
Before that,
they are planning to lose. Now, if I've told them that you guys are planning to lose, and this is 2021, they can do something about it, isn't it?
yeah, sure.
So if they can do something about it, I would be happy. They are our citizens, and there's nobody who has a permanent claim on the president. We're going to assess all of them, but as things stand now, one guy has overtaken them.
Nikubaya.
Ni kunoma, ni ngori.
Because in Nairobi, why is it we're not having a by-election? Is it what's happening in Nairobi? Is it legal or illegal? The takeover in Nairobi? I mean, for once we have a deputy governor who had not been vetted. Suddenly, he's being vetted in absentia of the person who appointed him, or who appointed her. And now we are saying we're not going to have a by-election in Nairobi. What's going on in Nairobi?
The problem is fear of Ruto. They fear Ruto. Nothing else. You know what? I'm not going to rationalize, waste time, your time in this studio to rationalize things which are not true. The hustler movement has taken root. There were so many careless things that Raila Odinga and his Jubilee supporters within government did. For example, they decided, Gerard, that they remove Songo without planning how that will end. So they removed Songo, and they just realized they have a bigger problem. There was no deputy governor in place. Then Songo supporters tilted towards the hustler movement. Now, if you call an election today in Nairobi, the person who will win the election as governor will come from the hustler movement.
Why do you say that?
There is massive support for that. And I have, again, science. Our own assessment of the situation, my political assessment of the situation is there are so many people who think Songo was not treated well. And there are also other people, especially the middle class like yourself, who think the constitution is being overlooked, violated. The law is being violated to fix the Nairobi problem. Even the way Kananu was sworn in, she's a decent lady. But how do you revive an appointment which was never there? It didn't take place. So how are you going to authenticate that? All the rules of procedure have been violated. The constitution has been violated. And so, when you think about it, some people say NMS. I don't want to talk about NMS. By the way, NMS, I want to give them credit. They have done some things which I like. But they are not an issue. In my opinion, the question you have asked, Gerard, is about why we are not having elections in Nairobi, is because a Ruto-leaning candidate would win.
And you're very pretty sure about that?
I'm pretty sure about it. And because of that, a Ruto-leaning candidate winning is a big blow to Raila Odinga. You know, we have the way people vote in Nairobi, it follows how they feel in their home areas. If Mount Kenya has a lot of support voters in Nairobi, which you know, where are they likely to go? Western, where are they likely to go? Ukambani, where are they likely to go? You think along those lines, then you'll understand how the Nairobi vote will go. The Nairobi vote has local things, but also it has a relationship with what happens in the ancestral homes of these voters in Nairobi. So therefore, the reason why Nairobi voting is difficult, And why people have problems about Nairobi is because the fear that if we hold an election right now, the Ruto-leaning candidate is likely to win.
All right. As we close the election conversation, let's look at the by-elections that are coming up. There's a by-election in Western Kenya, 2 by-elections in Western Kenya. We have a by-election in Ukambani. We have by-elections coming up in Nakuru. What's your prediction? What is your scientific prediction on what the by-elections would look like?
You know, in terms of things can change very fast in a by-election. Even what is happening today can change tomorrow, depending on the dynamics. As things stand now, and they could change in the next few months, a few weeks before the election, Western Kenya, because of what is happening at national politics, it is likely to go to UDA. Matungu and Kabuchai could easily go to UDA. Now, the reason is this. A lot of people seem to be excited by this new message from Ruto. A message which does not talk about tribe, but a message that talks about people and their hassles and the problems that they're going through, which are common across ethnic communities. So, and a lot of people have converged in that area from other parts of the Kenya country. You can see that it's no longer Western Kenya's issue. You see Muthama there. You see Hassan Omari there. The feeling that we are part of the greater Kenya is likely to excite a lot of people. So as we talk now, Matungu and the Kabuchai seem to be going towards UDA. But depending on which strategy that Honorable Wetangula and Honorable Musalia Mudavadi would have, because it is too early in the day, they can still overturn that. But if we were to go to an election right now, Matungu and Kabuchai would go to UDA because of the current excitement.
It has the last of the Asla narrative, and the Asla narrative has been bashed and accused of causing or pitting the poor against the rich. And I saw there's someone else having, even the president himself has come out to criticize and say you cannot bring up the poor and pit them against the rich. I mean, you're creating a disaster. Do you feel that's what is happening? Do you think the Asla narrative is putting more poison into the fabric of our society? Or it's starting as a good conversation? Is it a good conversation or a dangerous conversation?
You know, first of all, I want to condemn anybody who is misusing the hustler narrative to create animosity among our people, banning property and so on. I don't think that is the meaning of a hustler and the hustler movement. Let me tell you this. The hustler narrative is not about the poor against the rich. But the hustler, as I said, the symbol of hustling is the wheelbarrow. That is a symbol, the basic symbol, tool of work. So respect for work is what the hustler is. So when you work can be rewarding. So you move up the ladder, you work hard. This hustler movement celebrates people like James Mwangi of Equity. SK Macharia, who went to such a huge media house that serves our republic. These are people who started from humble background. Yes. So, like where you have started here, you are in this studio, you never know what you will do tomorrow. We must encourage you to go up the ladder. You could even come to work through using Anduthi. But that does not mean that you live forever for Anduthi. So these guys are trying to twist it. Because it is real. I don't think that anybody should envy guys who have worked hard. Hustlers are not just poor people, but they are also rich people who have worked hard to the top. William Ruto is an example of a hustler. He has some money now, but he has worked hard from a kitchen cellar. We want to give hope to our people, not to kill or destroy those who already have wealth, but also to work hard and get wealth. Not to sit on the streets and start destroying or fighting those who already have wealth, but to ask, how can I also work hard? So the respect for work is one of the biggest values of the hustle movement. Then the celebration of those who have succeeded after hard work. But the opposite of it is this group that has a sense of entitlement. Who think, Gerard, they can sit here, you sit here to earn some money to pay rent. But there are people who don't even know how rent is paid. But they still want power. They still want to lead us. How can you, as a person who doesn't know how rent is paid, start looking after rent payers? So we want fellows who have this experience like the one you have, and you rise to the top and look after people, because you know life is full of stages, and you can go through those stages. You can graduate to stage 2 like a child in school. When you say a standard 1 kid today who has joined standard 1 this year, you don't know that is going to be our president. But that child might even write 7 as if it's not 7, upside down. But that kid, when it's nurtured and works hard, next time he's doing calculus, you won't believe he was a standard 1 kid.
So you want to be led by fellow rent payers. All right, BBI, is it eating the headwinds? And why?
BBI? Which headwinds? You know what? It was always in trouble from day one. So when you say it is hitting the headwinds, it's as if it has ever had a soft sail. It has been in turbulence since it started. You know what? Gerard, maybe the ship is now going to capsize after many hours of turbulence. The plane could be crashing, and maybe you need me to explain why.
Please, I need you to explain that. I need to explain.
The case is this: the question of inclusivity. The people of Kenya didn't ask for change of the constitution. That is a fact. You know, if we had asked for change of the constitution, things would have been very easy. But our two leaders chose to tell us we need to change the constitution. Fixing the problem of Kenya is not the preserve of two people, not Uhuru, not Raila, not Ruto. The problems of Kenya must be fixed by the people of Kenya. So it's us to say we want change of the constitution. Well, the problem is, contrary to what our leaders think, most of us think the reason why things are not working in Kenya is because the 2010 constitution is not being implemented. So when you tell me you want a new constitutional order and you are unable to implement the last constitution, the other constitutional order, how am I sure that the laws you are passing are just not for cosmetic reasons? If you can't implement the 2020 constitution, how can you now implement the PBI changes? You have to persuade the Republic that this time you mean business. And it is a tough job to tell us you can't implement 2010, but you will implement PBI. That's the first thing. So it creates a legitimate problem. The second part of the PBI is this: the lies in the proposals. Right now, Gerard, our country projected to raise about 1.6 trillion shillings in the current budget of 2.7 trillion. Now, as we talk now, almost all the debts that have now matured will take away the money we collect in taxes to the tune of 1 trillion. We remain with 600 what? We remain with 600 billion shillings to be shared between county and the national governments. Now, if you say that under BPI we are going to have 35% allocation to the counties, it is a sexy thing. It is appealing. But it's a lie. How is it a lie? The fact is that right now the government is struggling to raise 15% to the counties. So how does the paper you call BBI paper, a proposal, convert into money? So if we today change and move the county allocation from 316 billion, which is a representation of the 15% we are talking about, to 35%, we shall get to about 565 billion. Now 565 billion under the current circumstances, where we have only remained with 600 billion, the rest we have made debts. What do we remain with? Just about 100 billion to run national government, while the counties will have gotten 565. What do you think that's possible? So where is the correct sign in this economy that it can create money? 35% for the counties
through a constitutional
amendment. Can a constitutional amendment create money? So the first business of any government that will take place will take power in 2022, whether it will be William Ruto or Raila Odinga, is to tell the Republic that we cannot implement 35%. If you pass BBI, their first business
is to tell you the truth.
To tell you the truth that we cannot implement 35%. Mutadu. So this is the question: is our economy has a problem, and it is not going to. It's not going to raise 35%. We are struggling with 15%. So therefore, this lie is also in the BBI. So why would you lie to the people that this will work? When you know that it will not work, you will say it can't work, because even now the national government is struggling. The third thing, and I can say very many things, but this one is critical, Gerard. If you look at the proposals in BBI, through a bridge has been built to connect the executive with parliament. So the executive has built a bridge into parliament. Through the prime ministers, he can appoint and sack. But the same bridge has been built into the judiciary through the ombudsman. So the executive under BBI will manipulate parliament through the appointment of ministers who are members of parliament, through the appointment and sacking of the prime minister and assistant deputy prime ministers. And the ombudsman will be the spy on judges in the judiciary. Now, which powers does the BBI give parliament to check the president? Which powers does BBI give the judiciary to also counter-check the executive? None. So what you are going to end up with in terms of this BBI is you will create a presidency that looks like Museveni's. Parliament will have to do what the executive wants. The judiciary will do what the executive wants. Because while you push the executive to check parliament and start spying on parliament and doing things in parliament, you do not give parliament the same power to check the executive. Now, those of us who have spent many years in school can't be taken in by that cheap lies. We want our country to be secure. We respect our leaders. We respect the president. We respect all leaders. But my brother, BBI, it's not the headwinds of BBI. The turbulence of BBI is huge. We did not take any audit of all the successes of the 2010 constitution. That's why it's haphazard. Now, I don't want to say many things about BBI. I want just to tell you this. There is a determination to have a referendum about it. Of what value are we going to have a constitutional order where we have losers and we have also people who are celebrating victory? These are issues that we can thrash out. Question number one, do we need a new constitutional order? 2, have we implemented the 2010 constitution? 3, these changes in BBI, all these changes, are they good for our country? The changes that are there, the bread has been given, smeared with some blue band and a jam. The jam is things like 35%, but the real thing in BBI is to strengthen the executive so that other branches of government don't work. If we had BBI proposals going through, the election of 2017 would never have been nullified.
Never.
Judges would be sacked the following day. Don't bring in an executive like the one of Yoweri Museveni in Kenya. We don't want that. We're happy the way we quarrel, but we live in a peaceful country. We don't want this. Hii mambo wachana nayo. Gerard,
tulimana usiku asubuhi tusikizana.
Wachana hii maneno, wacha tukosane lakini tunapendana. Lakini usikuwe kama Museveni anafungia watu kwa nyumba. Alafu ati umempoza na ufungia. When you see the electoral commission talking, it is nonsense in Uganda. We want people to be checked. You know what? these checks and balances you are seeing between about the president, where he appoints people and some of those people are appointed, and we end up Mahakama says no. Is good for a republic. Even sometimes the quarrel between the deputy president, the disagreement between the deputy president and the president is when you witness that disagreement, it is good for the republic. When the government officials are at peace with themselves, we citizens are in trouble. We want a government that is accountable. We want noise. We don't want harmony. Life is a struggle. It's a contradiction. We don't bring us to a level that we can just listen to one side of the story and we don't say anything. So my brother, BBI is in turbulence. I wish it well. But the plane could crash.
You can only wish it well.
I wish it well. First of all, you should know. I will vote no. If they bring the referendum, I will vote no.
You wish it well, but you will vote no.
I will vote no, and I have a right to do that. And I have a lot of resources. You know, bring. Next time you bring the proponents of BBI here, I'll teach them a few things about politics. I'll teach them.
So, are you daring Paul Mwangi on a one-on-one?
Yes, Paul Mwangi. I know him. He's a decent man. I used to do debate with him at KTN. I know him very well. I've known him for a very long time. But I will ask him just one question. If he's listening, I will ask him. He was part of the team that said they were going to verify, after the BBI won, they were going to verify whether the views that were presented to BBI one are the ones which are correct or not. Now, if you ask questions from Bitok, Gerard, and he gives you some opinions, and then you go and verify with KISIANGANI, what methodology are you using? They had 7,000 people to verify with who gave opinions. So how can they go to verify with did they verify with the 7,000 they had interviewed?
No.
So that thing has a methodological mess. It's a conundrum. So if you want Paul Mwangi, let him come. We will do the business. I will do it with the decency. I respect him. He's a lawyer. He's a decent man. But what he was participating in was shocking. And the outcome, first of all, I would never do with my brother Adam Solo. I would never participate in an exercise like BBI. You know, this BBI can spoil your reputation. People like Paul Mwangi are very decent guys. Even Adam Solo.
It can spoil your reputation.
It can spoil your reputation because you find yourself saying things which are not true. And we just, fight all facts. And yet, you have been associated with the sense, you are a scholar, and then you are supposed to endorse things which are not true. Methodologically, we have a way of doing research. So I would never participate.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Salama sana, habari ya leo.
Niko salama sana.
Nazungumza na nani?
Nazungumza na Eric Okodo kutoka kaunti ya Busia.
Jambo Okodo.
Salama sana.
Leta habari ya mwaka mpya.
Mimi ningependa mwaka mpya iko salama.
Umesikia mjadala?
No. Naona umetuletea hapo umwami hapo Kisangani mtu wa nyumbani. Huyu hapo sawa kabisa. Hapa Western. Sisi tuliambia hii watu ya kwamba hii mchezo ambao wanajaribu kutuletea mambo ya BBI. Hatutaki kusikia story ya BBI. Kwa sababu wale watu ambao leo huyo wanatuambia kwamba BBI iko mzuri. Ndio walituambia kwamba katiba ya 2010 ni nzuri. Ni nini wameona sasa hizi ubaya kwa hii katiba ambayo tuko nayo tunataka kubadilisha? Hii maneno tunaeleza kuhusu Luya Unity. Huyu Musalia Mudavadi, mbunge mwenye amekufa alikufa Matungu, alikuwa ni mtu ya ANC. Yeye anatuambia kwamba anataka kuwa rais na anataka ANC iweze kupata kiti chake cha Matungu. Yeye alifanya nini hapo Matungu wakati mbunge wake wa ANC alikuwa pale? Nothing. What has Wetangula did in Kabuchai when he had a member of parliament for the Kenya in that seat? It's nothing. So these fellas are just kingpins ambao ni wana ukabila mingi na kujifanya kwamba wanataka kuwa marais. Kwani kura ya president inapigwa Kakamega ama Bungoma peke yake? What has Mudavadi done in a terrible constituency where William Ruto comes from? That's the issue these people have to tell us. Lakini hii story zingine wanatueleza my brother Bitok, kitu ambacho haiwezekani. Yes.
So watu wa Western wamesema mtagi maneno.
Sisi watu wa Western tumesema wheelbarrow tuko nayo, mboga ni mboga, kazi ni kazi, wapende wasipende.
Mboga ni mboga.
Mboga ni mboga jamani. Kumbe ni kumbe.
Ni ukali tu.
Obuoba ni buoba.
Obuoba ni buoba.
Asante sana ndugu yangu, thank you. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you doing?
I'm going good.
Azungumza na nani?
Huyu ni Harrison kutoka Kakamega.
Okay, Harrison, tuambie dadi.
Mimi na kushukuru sana hii maneno yanasemwa na bwana Kisiangani. Kwamba hapa Kakamega vitu kwa ground ni tofauti. Watu watawadanganya na mdomo kwamba Raila Musalia, lakini watu huku wote wanasema hasla.
Aya.
Na kama kuna youth kwa ground kwa hii ndani ya hii Kenya, if there's any youth in this country who still believes in old failed man Raila Odinga, then he is visionary.
Aya.
Sababu this Kenya is moving. Hatutaki kusteka hapo na fail na watu ambao wamesha fail, they are looking for opportunities, wakiingia pale wananyamaza. Saa hizi hataki kusema nani anafanya ufisadi na still kuna pesa inapotea. Rais alisema kuna 2 billion ambayo inapotea kila siku kwa government. Kila siku, na hii pesa Raila atuambie ni nani anakula. Kumaanisha ni Raila anakula sababu yeye ndiye amenyamaza. Unless we come clear to the youth na atuambie. So Ruto is a true symbol ya youth ndani ya hii country. Na sisi tutampatia kura.
So mtu mwenye amenyamaza ndiye anakula. Harrison.
Atusemi yeye ndiye anakula, lakini sasa pia atuambie ni nani yeye ndiye ametuwezesha kutuambia fulani pesa imeenda mahali fulani, nani amekula pesa fulani. Lakini right now is not speaking anything. But the president himself told us last time that 2 billion, ama ni uongo?
Alisema 2 billion, hata mimi nilisikia.
Sasa nani anakula vipi? Baba ndiye anatuambianga hii maneno, atoke atuambie hii pesa inaenda wapi. Nani amekula sababu yeye ndiye ametuzoesha. The last time we spoke about the corruption, we don't know it was when. Unaona? The problem we're having in this country is the implementation of the 2010 constitution. Si atukuleta tena vitu vingine unataka kuweka ndani, hapana. Sisi tuko na Ruto na narrative yake ni very new na ina accommodate watu wote, wa mama nani. Wilbar does not mean, kama mimi kazi yangu si ya Wilbar, lakini najua hiyo simple inanileta paka na kuwa accommodate kwa hiyo vuguvugu. Let me tell you, Ruto ni bomb na ina assemble, italipuka my friend.
Ebu ongea na Prof Guluya, ongea na bro lugha ya nyumbani, mwambie nini mlifanya.
Unapenda Kisiangani? Kwa Waluya wote wewe ndio inafaa ukue atuoli. Hao wengine wengine
omanyeko so kwenye bujinga tawa. Bantu bakukhola abo kama bisana.
Kabisa.
Ono wheelbarrow hata sezindi na yengo. Wewe unaendele wheelbarrow.
Na kuna soko hata State House ilijengwa na wheelbarrow. Ndio ilikuwa inasukuma mchanga.
Yes.
Raila hiyo State House ilijengwa na wheelbarrow.
Yes.
Sasa wheelbarrow kwa nini anaikataa?
Kwani wheelbarrow, ukiwa na wheelbarrow wewe ni mbaya?
Bwana hata kwake shamba garden na huwa na move uchafu na wheelbarrow, I move na pick up.
Ati lazima uwe kandarasi. Mimi niko na wheelbarrow 3, mtu wa kutengeneza ng'ombe yangu wako na wheelbarrow na ingine inatumiwa na watu wengine. Sasa wanasema ukiwa na wheelbarrow wewe ni kandarasi. Sasa Raila anaona lazima uwe unajenga manyumba makubwa ya ghorofa ndio uwe na wheelbarrow.
Sisi tunajua ni mchezo ya kuweka tu the name of our deputy president on a distribute, but we don't accept that. Sisi tuko na yeye na the word kitu umesema hapo muhimu, vitu kwa ground ziko tofauti. Watoe sahihi Kananu Nairobi, kura yangu ni ya Nairobi in fact, kwa vile tu sasa hivi niko Western. Waitisha uchaguzi hata kama ni kesho ndo tujue. Na kuanzia sasa hivi watajulia Matungu na Kipchai, tuko hapo. Mimi niko Kakamega sasa na ninasikia kwa ground vile vitu zinasemekana.
Sasa ngiangusalimia watu wa Kakamega na asante sana kwa kupiga simu na kutusikiza pia.
Asante sana.
Ambia watu wa Kakamega tunawapenda zaidi na tutakuja hapo tufanye social mazungumzo ya social tuweze kujua hii mambo inaenda vipi. Hao ndio yako bwana.